Guy Channel. The Car Guy Channel. My name is Mike Hennessy. This show is all about cars and all four car guys. Get yourself a cold beer. Get yourself a cold beer, guys, because our show is... Yeah! We are smoking! When people build this stuff, they build a lot of junk sometimes. You guys want me to be honest with you on this show?
World famous television personality and car man of the decade. Here's Mike Hennessy.
$500. The only thing wrong with this car is the loose nut behind the wheel, but we're going to get that fixed. 18.5, 18.5.
I'm Mike Hennessy, and you're watching the Car Guy Channel. I have an auto repair shop. I've been in the business for over 30 years. You name it, we got it, we built it, we've done it, we do it. We love this car stuff, and I hope you guys do too. We're gonna have a lot of fun, got a lot of stuff cooking, so just stay tuned. We got Camaros, Street Rods, Falcons, Corvettes, Roadrunners, Cadillac convertibles.
Heading out singing our song. Come surf, baby, wait and see, yeah. I'm gonna take you surfing.
Welcome to the Car Guy Channel. Once again, we're at Dream Machines, the Pacific Coast, Half Moon Bay Dream Machine car show, airplane show, you kind of name it, it is here. Dream Machines, a fantastic show, and I'm telling you, it covers all the bases of all the cars. Anything unique and anything different, it's here at Dream Machines. We used to say once, it's one of the greatest shows on earth on this side of California. Fantastic event. Hey, things we got coming up. We got Hot San Jose Nights coming up this year. That's another fantastic event. We're going to have RC planes like you're going to be seeing, like a full complete air show. We got bands. We have Bipolar Bears. We have Big Mike and the Heartbeats. Do a lot of Chicago music. We're going to have drone fighting. These drone fighters are going to be inside this cage doing all sorts of really cool things. But hey, two things I want you to do. Get yourself a cold one, sit down, don't touch that dial, and you're going to enjoy a fantastic show all about Pacific Coast Dream Machines.
They're angling in Laguna and Sarah's too. They're kicking out in Doheny too. I'll tell you, surfing's running wild.
I always say there's nothing like original. There's nothing like something untouched, unmolested. This car right here is what I call a survivor. Car's only original once in its life. And this represents a 1964 Rambler 990 with the Flash-O-Matic automatic transmission. These motors here were good runners in their day. And to see something like this, you know, we see a lot of the Mustangs, the Camaros, Chevelles, a lot of that stuff, and they're all cool. But to see something like this in original 1964 condition, I think is extremely cool. Being a two-door hardtop car, they got the full complete wheel covers on this. I'm telling you, this is a spectacular car. Engine looks great underneath. I was just kind of, you know, haven't seen one in a long time. So you haven't seen one? When we come to Dream Machines, you see a lot, which you don't normally see. Check this car here out.
Put your glad rags on, join me, hon. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes one. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock to broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4, if the band slows down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock to broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Let's rock!
You guys and gals know that I love interesting stuff, and believe it or not, this guy's working with a team of people that brought something down that is extremely interesting. Mike Hennessy.
Tom Marhofer.
Tom, how are you doing?
Very good.
Now, this is a very unusual motorcycle. Now, what year is this?
1922.
1922. Now, this is extremely unusual, and obviously, this is not an American-built bike.
No, it's built in Germany, in Berlin, actually.
And again, what is so unique about it, it's probably the only model in the world that's like this, is with the engine is actually built on the front wheel?
Right, within the wheel, yeah. It's a rotary, actually a radial engine. Some people say it's rotary.
It's radial.
It is a radial design, just like an airplane, the older airplanes. And it has no transmission, no clutch. So you kind of push start it and away you go.
Now, you're telling me earlier that the wheel turns. How do you explain that?
Well, the wheel, for every revolution of the wheel, the engine's turning 6 times within it. So if I'm not sure how that would equate to speed, but they can do, I guess, up to into the 60-mile-an-hour range.
God, that's incredible. Now, what's the name of the brand of bike?
Magola.
Magola. Guys and gals, is this interesting or is this not interesting? There's all sorts of, there's some clips on this on YouTube. Jay Leno happens to have one I saw down there that it's not really running at the time. There's always an issue with something like this.
Right, yeah, where do you find parts, right?
No, I was going to say, where do you find a guy that could make the parts?
That's exactly
Hey,
right.
thanks for having us on the show.
My pleasure.
With bike.
Glad
This
to come out.
this is neat stuff. This is very cool. Check this thing here out. We got a lot of vehicles to check out. Hard to say this in the car guy world about a car, but this car here is absolutely adorable. It's actually an easy-go golf cart chassis, and this man custom designed the whole body, the color, the flames, the wheels. I'm telling you, I think it's probably one of the coolest cars here, and you can see the work that went into it. Check this car here out, guys and gals. I'm telling you, it's absolutely spectacular.
Papa told Willie, you ruined my home. Said you and a hand job got to go. Willie told Papa, don't you put me down. 'Cause of doing that hand.
When these events draw military vehicles, it just gives you goosebumps, and see some of the really cool and exotic, and I mean exotic, military vehicles. You're going to be looking at a vehicle that has two 454 engines, one 454 in the front, one 454 in the rear. Now, if that's not enough, if that doesn't do it, they got a jet engine. So I'll tell you, these guys will never be stranded anywhere. You get one motor, you get a second motor, and then you get a jet. This is absolutely downright cool.
Love, love you, darling. Come and go with me. Please don't send me way beyond the sea. I need you, darling. So come go with me. Come, come, come.
I would introduce a great friend, Melvin Record. How are you doing?
Very well, Mike. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you. When we get set up over here at Dream Machines, we have booths, and we have 20-foot booths, 30-foot booths, and we get set up next to you guys.
I know. What are the odds?
And talk about cars and racing.
Well,
and,
that's always good.
hey, tell everybody really why are you guys here today? Tell what you're doing.
Well, we're here to promote Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, of course. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary. The track's been open since 1957. So a lot of reasons for us to be here to let the people of the Bay Area know about this legendary racetrack and some of the great events we have coming up in 2017.
I you know me, I'm into the historic thing.
Yep.
And I go every year, I put all this stuff out in email. You guys see all the stills and all Susan stuff out there. You guys put on the best part. You guys are what make Monterey. I think you do, because it's fan. You guys remodeled some stuff there. Public, the parking is easy. You know, get in and out. I mean, it's just really a good program.
We worked hard to try and enhance the fan experience, to make it easier for people to get in and out and make sure that they have a good time at the racetrack. So, you know, ticket prices are pretty reasonable. Parking's free. Kids 12 and under are free.
Oh, it doesn't get better. Family
grandstands are free. I mean, we've tried to embrace families.
And to let people know that your event's all about family stuff, but people can actually get close and up front to the cars.
Every event you can get into the paddock, you can visit the drivers, you can see the cars. I mean, it's a really great experience.
This is cool. Hey, we got a lot of stuff at Dream Machines going on. I saw the girls hanging around your booth over here, Melvin. I don't know
It
what
wasn't
you...
for me. I want to stress that.
It wasn't for Melvin. We got a lot of cars to look at. Some high ones, fast ones, slow ones, and all kinds of them. Let's check it out.
Come into my heart. Tell me, darling, we will never part. I need you, darling, so come go with me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please say you'll never leave. Yes.
Boy, many trucks as we finish this year to see a 1957 Chevrolet truck this clean, this spectacular. I think it's just really, really spectacular truck. Very well done. And you can tell the paint on the vehicle is the correct color. And what they did is they used the 6-cylinder engine. Most guys went to V8s, made all sorts of big changes and whatnot, but he kind of did a lot of street rod and kind of a really good quality stuff I want you to check out, because he has 2 carbs, on an intake manifold setup. They don't come from the factory that way. These were some performance items you could buy back in the 50s to go ahead and zoop up your 6 cylinders. And he has all sorts of little tiny trinkets under the hood. I think it looks really cool. You got to look this over. Inside of the bed, they did a great job with the wood and the stainless steel slats. This right here is just, something about it. I had to stop, had to go over it, had to show it to you guys and gals. I think this right here is pretty cool. Check this thing here out.
Yeah, say you never, yeah, you really never.
You never give me a chance.
Come into my heart, tell me, darling, we will never part. I need you, darling, so come go with me. Come on, go with me.
When I say there's something crazy and wild, my name is Mike Hennessy. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Mike. Gene Schmidt.
Hey, Gene, how are you? We were teasing each other earlier. You told me you had a couple other stuff, and I kind of baited you a little bit.
A little bit.
Then you happen to have the slingshot. And what other odd one do you have?
I also have a Can-Am Spyder, a Chevy SSR pickup truck, and a 2016 C7 Vet.
So when he said that, I said, well, do you have a Messerschmitt? And I thought he was going to kill me. Well, the 3-wheel, not everybody knows about that, but they're pretty neat. Now, this is just a spectacular vehicle as far as performance-wise. Now, these take a lot to get used to being a 3-wheel setup, isn't it?
Not really. It drives like a car.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought they were just something for corners and...
They go through corners like they're on rails. If you gas it too hard, the tail will come out, but it's got a computer in it, so it'll bring it right back in again.
These are spectacular. These are really cool. Now, everybody always wants to ask questions on the show. Horsepower, 0 to 60. Throw me some specs on this.
0 to 60 is not published, but I can tell you the factory team said they did 3.7, 0 to 60.
See,
Nobody that owns one.
This is car guy talk, bench racing. This is bench racing. Nothing in writing anywhere. No proof or nothing. And what was that spec again?
3.7, 0 to 60. But nobody who owns one knows how they did it, because I can maybe do 5. It's a whole thing about hooking up the rear tire. That poor little rear tire gets annihilated.
That's bench racing at its best.
It has a top speed, it's governed to 130.
Now, what power plant's in there?
It's a GM EcoTech LE9. So it's 173 horsepower stock, 166 foot-pounds of torque.
Out of a 4-cylinder motor.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But it's the standard 4-cylinder that GM puts in all of their cars.
Sure. Oh, no.
But it weighs 1,700 pounds, so it goes very good.
It flies. Hey.
I added on cold air induction and headers, so that added a little more horsepower. It's a little quicker.
These are really fast. Hey, thanks for having it on the show.
Thank you, Mike.
These are pretty
Good talking
cool.
to you.
When you guys get out here, you're going to see all sorts of interesting vehicles, and then next year we have them load everything up on the trailer.
Well, you can rock and you can roll and you can stop and even stroll it at the hop, 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 hop. When the record starts to spin and you chill it, so when you chicken at the hop, 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 hop. Do the dance sensation that's swinging the nation at the hop, 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 hop. Let's go to the hop.
When it comes to Mustangs, Dream Machine seems to pull out some of the best Mustangs in the whole Bay Area, or I'd say Northern California. And his Shelbys just come out of the woodwork. And when you see a fine Shelby like this, you got to stop, you got to look at it. Love the front lights on the front of the car. All the telltale signs of an absolute spectacular car, let alone being very, very well done. Stripes are beautiful. You can tell they're done right. The color white is just beautiful on it. The wheels, everything about this car, I really like it a lot. Being a 1967 Shelby, that actually is my favorite year for Shelby Mustangs. I happen to have an early 66, but when it comes to these right here, I don't know, I'd probably trade mine off to go for a 67. I'm actually kind of tempted with it when I see cars like this. When you go to these shows, you see cars that you kind of like, it always gets you thinking. Sit down, talk to the wife, see if you can make it happen, because that's basically what I'm going to try to do. Once again, I found the unusual. That doesn't mean this guy. My name's Mike Hennessy.
I'm Chris.
Chris, how you doing?
Good, I'm great.
Now, apparently you got an award for having a car that no one else has here.
Oh, wow.
I'm only kidding. We don't have any awards on the car. Hey, You have a Berkeley. Now
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about this Berkeley.
Well, this is a 1958 Berkeley, and I got it from my grandfather, who actually sort of handed it down to my uncle. And my grandfather, he acquired it from a man who actually used this car to hunt jackrabbits in a field. So
Wait. I hear all sorts of car guy stories. So he used this car here to hunt down jackrabbits in a field.
yeah, so he used this car to hunt down jackrabbits in a field, and my grandpa, he found this car fascinating, so he purchased the car from the guy. And you know, he actually started the Berkeley Car Club of America. So my grandfather, he collected a lot of parts, got a lot of photos, a lot of journal reviews, and you know, from there, it just went into my uncle's hands, and he just, you know, because he's a full-time priest, he just couldn't work on it anymore. So I told him, hey, you know what, I'll fix the car for you, and I'll get it going.
Great story. Now, one quick question on this thing right here is what, you know, a lot of guys can know, what type of motor is that? What type of motor is in there?
Well, it's a 492cc Excelsior engine, so it's originally, it's an American engine, but it's a British sports car.
Right. And it's a two-stroke?
Yeah, and it's a two-stroke, air-cooled, and it's a 4-speed with a reverse.
Well, now, okay, I hope the car has a reverse. Now,
Yeah.
you have to mix your gas and oil, right?
Yeah, so it's a pre-mixed gas and oil. It's a 16-to-1 ratio. So, I mean, every time I fill up the tank, I gotta make sure I mix it correctly.
I have a car called an Auto Union. You ever heard of one?
No.
Auto Union is a little bit like this, and it's a rear engine, 3-cylinder, two-stroke.
Oh, wow.
It's even worse. Your car is great. Hey, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's nice seeing
We're
you.
going to go ahead and look this thing here over still. Let's go over this car because I bet there's not one here.
Every morning about this time she gets me out of my
As far as what's collectible nowadays, trucks are hot, extremely hot, especially a 1974 Chevrolet truck. This right here is a step-side, four-wheel drive. The neat part about this, the paint is absolutely spectacular on it. And if you guys go to Sports Car Market, Steve Martin wrote a whole article all about some of the cars that they feel are good collectibles, well under 10 grand. I think this vehicle here is worth way more than 10 grand, but to get started in some of the collector car world, these trucks are really coming on pretty strong. But when you look at the paint on this is absolutely spectacular paint. Plus, being black on a truck, that took some work here. Check this one here out.
Then my girl has the nerve to say, if there is any work for
What a great place for some great cars. For 1972 Camaro, this color, we just hope we get the right camera to be able to get the luster out of the color of this car. It's absolutely beautiful. You can just tell it's done right. The stripes are, you know, pretty much like a ghost stripe. They're actually underneath the actual clear coat itself. The paint goes all the way into the cowl. It goes all the way to where the fenders come in. This car is done right. I'd have to say it's one of the nicer 72 Camaros I actually have seen in a long, long time. The way it's done under the hood, I love detail. Attention to detail with these things. He's got all his rubbers right along for when the hood vibrates and whatnot. This is chrome plated here. He's got the trim on this side here. Underneath the hood, it's just done extremely clean. But as far as the color of the car, absolutely outstanding. People are stopping taking pictures of it. And the neat part about it, again, it is a well done car. And it looks like it's done right. I want Estelle to go over this car, under the hood, everything. It's a little bit of a resto mod-ish type car with some upgraded items under the hood. But man, I'm telling you, this is worth checking into. Check it out.
a little disc coupe. You don't know what I got. A little disc coupe. You don't know what I got. Well, I'm not bragging, babe, so don't put me down. Cause I've got the fastest set of wheels in town. When something comes up to me, he don't even try. Cause if I had a set of wings, I know she could fly.
Now the unusual still keeps going all day long. 1951 Tetra. Now Tetra's a very, very interesting automobile. Had a lot of fantastic design. This model here is an air-cooled flat 4-cylinder motor, which they would nickname called the Boxster. These cars were phenomenal cars. This was sold in Canada, and I'm telling you, the lines of this car, the aerodynamics of them, later years on, they came with actual V8, which is similar to a V, kind of a flat V8 motor, and it was a hemispherical engine. Really kind of a neat piece. These are very unusual. Not a lot of people understand them or know much about them. Very collectible, very desirable. Check this one here out.
To make you flip your lid. There's one more thing, I got the pink slip daddy, and coming off the line when the light turns.
I'm telling you something, guys and gals. You want to get into this collector car market and you kind of don't have big budgets and whatnot, what are hot are vans. Now VW vans are actually very, very hot. And then when they go ahead and do paint work and they're doing wraps of things like this gives it a look that is just very unique. And I'm telling you, I think it's pretty exciting to see it like this. When you go to these type of shows, you can save some money by having a wrap done. When you look at this, you're going to get some ideas, and it doesn't have to be a Volkswagen. You can do all different breeds. Vans are hot, things in the 60s, 70s, all sorts of cool stuff out there. There's ways to get into this market, ways to get into this hobby, and this is one way to get in and be cool and enjoy the shows and have a good time. Check this out.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye, yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day, hey, hey, when I die. Well, you give me all your loving and your turtle doving, all your hugs and kisses.
And boy, do they got the birds here. This happens to be a 1966 T-Bird convertible. And T-Birds were such a very unusual car. I want to say they were very, very well over-engineered in some ways because they had some very interesting options. This car here has some crazy options. I think it's really kind of cool. You don't see every day. And you got split headrest on the seats. When Estelle gets a picture of that, you kind of see how the headrest kind of pops up out of the seat and comes out. It's very, very unusual. And not all of them had what they call the tilt steering. It's not tilt steering, it's coaxial steering. And this steering here slid all the way to the right. So when you put the car in park, the steering wheel slides all the way over and it gets you out of the car. I think it was a fantastic idea. And there's a few cars that do have those. This happens to be one of them. And just really neat. The color's great, good solid white on it, red interior. And the interior in these is very difficult to reproduce. So it takes a lot of work to get one. So when you see one of these done with the skirts, the wheel covers, the white wall tires, all the emblems on it, this is a very, very, very nice car. And the option I really like on it, of course, does have power windows. It has factory air conditioning. And these air conditioning, these cars were a good air conditioning unit that was designed. These were meant to be kind of the luxury T-Bird line of cars. The lines are great on them, and they have a great example of a few of them. This happens to be one of the white ones I kind of like. We're going to show you a red one also. But take a look at this car here. I think this car here is really a good show winner. What's neat is to see the year, make, and models and the differences between them. You look at this car here and then the white one, you're going to see that there's going to be two differences between them. Actually, a little bit more, but just to give you a quick idea when you do see one, this happens to be a 65, and the white car happens to be a 66. Quick way to tell is this has most of a scoop style on the front. Now, if you notice on the white car, it's going to be more of has kind of a chrome V pattern put on the very front of the hood, and it has the 65 has the scoop on the front. Now, on the fender on the car, both fenders front will have these type of chrome bezel type pieces on them, and these right here just look great on the car. But in 1966 they thought it'd be an idea to clean up the chrome and to take those off. Those are some quick telltale signs, so now you can say you know the difference between a 1965 and a 1966 Ford Thunderbird. We got the 4th of July parade coming up called the Rose, White, and Blue. It goes through the Rose Garden all down the Alameda on the 4th of July, and it's a parade not to miss. Everybody be there. It's all for the family. This covers everything, and we're going to be filming the show this year. Estelle's going to be directing and editing the show, and myself and another co-host is going to go ahead and narrate the show, and we're going to commentate all about the parade activities going on during the parade. Guys and gals, I'm over here with the RC Group. Now, Baylands RC Group is all about remote control airplanes, which we're going to have at Hot San Jose Nights. These are the guys that actually make this whole complete show happen. These guys got planes up in the air, down the ground, doing flips and all sorts of stuff. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of guys. Yes?
My name's Ray.
Ray Manuel. Ray Manuel runs this team a little bit and keeps everybody under control from what I hear. How's Ray doing?
Ray's great.
And your name is?
Bob Gray.
Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Nice setup today. Hey, bud, get in here. But I was teasing you pretty bad. I said a face only a mother could love, and that's horrible, isn't it?
Nah, it's fine.
Okay. And your name?
I'm Warren.
This is Warren, the face only mom could love. Hey, this right here?
I'm Joey.
Joey and?
Duncan.
Duncan, very good. Young man, get over here.
Good to see you again, Mike. My name's Sukai.
And we got Sukai. We got all these guys here doing all the airplane tricks over at Hot San Jose Nights this year. It's going to be probably one of the most fantastic shows they've ever done. We're going to do things a little bit different this year. We're going to have a speaker, Ray. This year is going to be talking about all the stunts and the tricks and naming these guys and what they can do. They do stuff with these planes that I'm telling you, they do more things that I've never seen. Can't even believe they can do this. When it's in the air, it's actually better than I think the actual physical airplane shows, because you can be closer and see really what's going on and see the stunts they do. Plus, if you want to get involved with this hobby, it's absolutely fantastic. You can get into it for a pretty decent budget, depends really where you're at. You can have a lot of fun doing it. We're going to do this over at Hot San Jose Nights, and it's coming up at July 8th down at Reed Healy Airport. You're going to meet all these guys and the one that only a mother can love. So we're going to have a lot of fun down there. See you all there, so get rocking and rolling. We hope you enjoy the show. We covered Dream Machines from front to back, soup to nuts. What an event, a lot of cool stuff. Hope we gave you guys and gals a lot of good ideas of what to do for your future projects, your type of cars you're going to be building. And there's all sorts of stuff out there to get involved in this fantastic hobby and the world of cars and collector cars and classics. So, we'll see you guys next week. God bless you, and see you at the shows.